What you are about to see is my first EV experience ever. Now, I have a friend who moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and they needed help moving a couch. I did find a F-150 Lightning, the electric version of the F-150, on Turo for rent. So I decided to pick that up. I have zero knowledge of EVs, other than I know that you have to plug it in at a charger, and I thought that was it. There is way more to it, and this is what I learned. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee this week, and there's only one car I really thought of to test out my inner cowboy, and that is a Ford F-150 Lightning. I'm Alex, and this is going nowhere. The F-150 Lightning debuted as part of the 14th generation of the F-150. This one rolled out as the 2022 year model in 2021. The Lightning name is a rejuvenation of the SVT Lightning that rolled out in the early 90s. It was meant as their performance truck that featured a 5.8-liter Windsor V8 and produced 240 horsepower. This all-electric one has an evaluated output of almost double the horsepower. And the performance on the new EV does not disappoint. All right, 0 to 60, let's do it. We're gonna test out this EV speed. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh my God. Done. I let off a little bit, so I'm pretty sure we can go faster, but yeah, that was not good. All right, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. 60. That is most likely faster than my 911, to be honest. In fact, it is. The F-150 Lightning does 0 to 60 in almost 4 seconds, compared to my 2006 997 911 at nearly 4.8 seconds. Let's see, like, this is why I think an EV is good daily driving. When you get that instantaneous speed, you know, when it is something that you're doing, either it's a highway on-ramp, you're trying to go ahead and beat somebody off the line so you can turn, that's where it makes sense. The issue with EVs is range anxiety is very real. There's not a lot of supercharge options out there. In fact, the first charger I visited, I sat there for 15 minutes, went to Starbucks. It only charged 4 miles of range for $1.50. Is it worth it? Especially when gas is $2.70 a gallon out here? I don't know. Now, the battery range for the standard EV F-150 Lightning is around 230 miles. That's about 50 more than the 4Runner that I have too. But it does come with an extended long-range option, which actually gives you 300 total miles, which is on a typical tank of gas, I would say. And I would highly recommend that, and here's why. Now, here's my story of basically renting an F-150 Lightning, and you can be the judge if I was a complete moron, which I probably was, or if it shouldn't be this difficult. I wrote this down. This is gonna be a mouthful. Here we go. All right, I picked up the car from the airport, and that was about 170-mile range that the car had on it. Drove it around town, the city center, shopped a little bit of it. Really honestly fell in love with it at this time. I mean, again, the driver engagement of this, it's really quick on the pickup, the instant torque, the automatic braking, like all of this is just really nice, honestly. And it's a total smooth ride. I really enjoyed the car. And by the end of day one, I had 90 miles left. It was really nice. I honestly really liked the EV experience at that point. I like that. That's scary. The first issue I ran into though was my hotel did not have any car charger at all. And so I had to street park it. Now, most people who own an EV, they'll plug their cars in at night in their own garage. Some apartments have it. That is like, I feel like 90% of what EV ownership is just being able to plug it in at night forgetting about it and having a full range the next day. I did not have that ability to do any of that. I had to go on to day 2 with doing errands in an electric car with 90 miles of range. The next day, the whole reason I got the truck was to pick up a couch. Now, I drove it about 30 miles outside of the city to a friend's house, so on 90 miles of range, at a minimum, I'd be left with about 30 miles left when I get back. That's not great. I didn't think that I would have enough because that means day 3, I would basically have less than 30 miles of range to get to the airport when the airport's about 10, 15 miles away. It's already getting that low. So what I didn't factor in to the 90 miles of range that I had left was wind, payload, and honestly, just my driving style. I drive really bad. So my overall range started really disintegrating on the way over from when I received the couch all the way over when I was driving to my friend's house. And so that's where my next issue is. I use Apple Maps and Google Maps religiously. One thing that I tried to do is search for chargers, just EV chargers on Google Maps or Apple Maps. And first things first, I didn't know what a level 1, level 2, or level 3 charger was at the time when I was trying to get in this. Again, my own concept of an EV is to plug it in, and that's it. I learned out the hard way that when I stopped for coffee at a Starbucks, I found a charger, plugged it in, stayed in there for 10 minutes because my buddy with a Rivian was like, oh, it only takes 10 minutes to charge, it's fine. By the time I got out, the charger said I only did like 4 miles of range and $1.31 spent on my credit card. So that was it. Honestly, I didn't want to spend any more time, so I said, I'm gonna risk it and let's go. So at that rate, I decided to keep going on my journey. And that's when range anxiety hit me. My range dropped to about 60 total miles, 5 miles away from my destination, and still having to go back 30 miles to my hotel. I searched for one more charger, and what I found was a level 2 charger at a Texas Roadhouse in the middle of somewhere next to a Target. So I shopped for about 40 minutes, got a protein shake, and when I went back, I had 75% battery life, which was pretty good. So I was happy, but not at the fact that I had to spend 45 minutes at a Target. So finally arrived at my friend's house, dropped off the couch, left for dinner, tried to use a Tesla supercharger. And I knew nothing about Tesla superchargers at all. I just heard they're the best. You should use those, or try to find those, or go for the Tesla. What I found out was in the middle of rural Tennessee, where cell phone service is from 2003. There are Tesla superchargers at a random Hampton Inn, and I learned the hard way that the F-150 has the most inconvenient location for a plug. So I could not reach from the Tesla plug to the charge point next to the front wheel at all without putting a strain or yanking on that Tesla cable. Thankfully, there was a weird angle of a Tesla supercharger, I guess made for cars like this. You could actually park right next to it. So the first con of the Tesla supercharger and the F-150 is that the length of the cable is god-awful and it will not help you at all. The second part of the Tesla supercharger is none of them have card readers. So you have to pay apparently through the app. So in the middle of my 2003 cell phone service that was slow, I tried to download the Tesla app, which did not work that very well, and try to insert my payment, but I was having a lot of issues with cell phone reception again, so I couldn't get it set up. That means I couldn't charge the car because there are no card readers on any of those superchargers. So, so I was like, all right, let's try to see how far I can get back to the hotel, and we'll go from there. Now, this is where the stress really started coming out. Again, there was no charger at the hotel, so I used Google Maps again to try to find any charger that was closest to me. And I Googled one charger that was actually about a mile away, and it was like, perfect. Okay, let's go to that one. That's the one. And I had discovered that the charger says no access to use. I don't know, thinking about it, maybe I could use an app for it and use it that way. I could not figure it out. If you have a suggestion, write a comment down below. I'd love to hear it. Regardless, I Googled another charger and found one in a gated hotel garage. So somehow the door was open. I managed to get inside that garage and the door closed behind me. So I was nervous if I couldn't get in or out. And it didn't matter. So I tried to find that charger thinking hopefully it was like a level 2 or a 3 so I can charge really fast and get out of there. It was a level 1 charger.
All right, so it's like 10 p.m. Finally found a charger at some random parking lot. But it's like the slowest charger on the face of the planet. I don't know if I should leave my car here. I don't know really where I am. And it says that it's gonna be fully charged in about 13 hours.
At this time, because the charge was so slow, I decided to leave and I tried to find another Tesla supercharger. Instead, I Googled again another Tesla supercharger only to find out that it was exclusive to Teslas only.
All right, I've been trying to find a charger for at least 10 minutes and I found 2 and both of them declined my card and said it's not available. A train is in front of me, which is why everything is blinking red. And this whole thing to try to find a charger is a nightmare. I have 27 miles of range left, which is not great. I'm trying just to make sure I can have a charge for tomorrow, but finding any sort of charger that's working is a pain in the butt. And like, honestly, this is just like great car, but this is so stressful just to try to find something that works. We're gonna keep this journey going on and I'm gonna try to find one.
After that point, I got so fed up. It was around midnight and I did the only thing I can think of, which was to call my friend Brad, who owns a Rivian, and yell at him that I hated electric vehicles for 10 minutes. Brad gave me a suggestion, or told me what I should be doing to begin with, is using Ford's actual navigation, which would have actually led me to using, and it would find a charger via the navigation. So that's exactly actually what I did after speaking with Brad and yelling at him for 15 minutes. And it led me to a level 3 charger about 2 miles away. Drove to that only to see that the level 3 charger was completely inoperable. Now, thankfully, there was a level 2 charger next to it, and I was able to plug in there for 45 minutes at midnight. In the middle of nowhere in Nashville, Tennessee, I found myself charging my F-150 Lightning at a random knockoff CVS. It took me about, again, 45 minutes to charge to about 70%. And at that point, I figured with my newfound knowledge of EV charging, I'm okay to leave. So I drove back to the hotel, and on the last morning that I woke up in Nashville, I had 70%. I took the car back to my buddy's house with the 70% charge, and by the time I finished running some errands around town and whatnot, I had about, again, 20% of battery left to go, with a trip to the airport that needed around 40% charge. Now, I did use Ford's navigation this time to try to find a charger, and it did find me one at a dealership about 5 miles away that said I did need to charge it to 39%. So I did learn from my previous mistake to use the forward navigation, apply it here, and unfortunately, it still took me roughly 30 minutes to charge it. I was told, again by my buddy, it could be the truck, it could be the charger, it could even be the cable. There's so many scenarios that affect it that just charging the car could vary completely by whatever situation you're in. So unfortunately, I think I got the worst straw out of all of them. But yeah, charging was very slow. After I charged it, I got back to the airport, left the car there with about maybe 15% worth of battery, got on my airplane, back to LA, where the most popular car is a Tesla Model 3. After everything's said and done, all the issues that I ran into, they can most likely probably be accounted as user error because I didn't do any research on EVs. And again, I kind of wanted to see if it was as easy as just plugging in and playing it. There is a learning curve to it, that's for certain. I would definitely recommend an EV, it seems like, and I'm sure everybody has figured this out. Use the stock navigation because it will tell you which chargers you should be able to go to, which ones are going to be faster, and then in general, what's going to be the best use case during your ride over there. The other part too is that I would say do not rent an EV because I did run into issues where if you have Ford Pass or whatever, which is like, I guess, the integrated app that's registered to your car, then you can charge it all you want to at different areas and it automatically charges based on your account. I don't own the car, so I can't actually register it to anything. So I'm stuck with credit card reader charge points all around the nation if I'm renting an EV. And maybe some work, maybe some don't. I ran into a few that obviously just did not work. That's scary in my opinion. The third thing is just the charging network in general. It wasn't a great experience. And again, if I had Tesla superchargers and access to those, then maybe it would have been completely different. But the fact that I have to sometimes also wait 45 minutes to plug in the car and charge it and just sit there with my own thoughts is dangerous enough, honestly. So if you own an electric car and you can plug it in a garage every single night, like the F-150, 90% of these issues go away. And I think that's probably the way to do it. I think I would be really happy with this truck if I could park it. But that doesn't really mean anything. I think at the end of the day, if you own an EV, it's one of the smartest cars that you can buy because there's not a lot of things that can go really wrong with it. But if you're renting one, then good luck.